I'm Roger Myers. I serve as the president and CEO for Presbyterian Villages of Michigan. And I'm also here in another capacity as the chair of the board of directors for PACE Southeast Michigan, which is part of what we're celebrating today is the kickoff of what will be the 9th PACE Center in Southeast Michigan, serving Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. So we really appreciate you being here today. We've got a number of folks that are going to speak. What I'd like you to think about is this is about a $55 million investment in the city of Westland and in Wayne County for the betterment of citizens across this western and southern Wayne County area. So $55 million. This is the first part of a multi-phase project, and you can see the campus. This will create a new gateway to the Village of Westland campus off of Merriman Road. So for the last 35, 40 years, the only way to get to the Westland campus was off of Cherry Hill, which is great. Cherry Hill is a great road. But now we have another way to get to the campus that'll go right by the Westland PACE Center, through the ranch homes, and onto the campus. So please take a look at the maps when you have an opportunity. So $55 million, an awesome collaboration of federal, state, county, city, private interest, philanthropy, and nonprofits. The Village of Westland and PVM are nonprofit organizations. PACE Southeast Michigan is a nonprofit organization. But without the federal, state, county, city working together with philanthropy, we wouldn't be here today. So to kick us off, I'm going to ask the Reverend Dr. LaDonna Holly. The Reverend Dr. LaDonna Holly. Some of you might say, well, wait a minute. I didn't know she was a reverend or a doctor, but she is. She's also the Senior Vice President at Presbyterian Village for Housing and Human Resources. LaDonna is going to give our invocation. LaDonna.
Thank you, Roger.
Or Dr. Holly.
Thank you, Roger. Good morning, everyone. Let us still our minds and our hearts. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we thank you for a new day, a new grace, a new mercy, a day that we've never seen before, a day that you've entrusted to us by waking us up this morning and allowing us to work in your will and in your way. Lord, we thank you for this event and your purpose for it. We know that when we gather together and when we keep focused on your work and when we keep your mission in perspective, you always have a divine agenda, and we love you for that. We come before you today humbled and grateful for all that you've done. Thank you for the mission, the vision, the partnerships, the seniors, the community, the staff, the volunteers, the leadership, the construction workers, and everyone that has been involved in bringing your purpose together today. What is our call for action today? Our call to action today is to share this great work so that others can be served, and to serve in this great work so that others can share. In your name, in your son's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, LaDonna. PVM has been so pleased to have had a presence in the city of Westland for now actually getting pretty close to 40 years, starting over there on Cherry Hill. And then many years later, we developed our Savior's Manor over on Middle Belt near Annapolis. And now with this $55 million expansion, we are having an even greater presence in the city. The city has been an awesome partner to work with, to collaborate with, and to serve with for all that time. And we've been blessed with the support of City Council and mayors, including the current mayor, Mayor Michael Londo. Mr. Mayor, we appreciate all that you do, and we would ask you to come up and offer some comments. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Wow, thank you, Roger, for the warm welcome. I'm a neighbor. I live around the block, so I tell Roger all the time I drive by and see the progress every day, so it's very exciting to be here this morning. So, hello, I'm Mayor Michael P. Londo, and again, it's an honor to be here at the renovation celebration for the new Pace Center. This is just one piece of the amazing work that the Village of Westland is doing, as Roger said, for our community. I'm so proud to be here to experience it. Earlier this year, with the support of City Council, we provided $1.5 million of our American Rescue Plan Act dollars towards this project, and it's great to see it finally come to fruition. The Village of Westland is already doing so much to support our senior community, and the Pace Center project will greatly expand their reach. The addition of this Pace Center will provide comprehensive medical care services to Southeast Michigan's most vulnerable members, filling a very important void. This is just a part of their almost $50 million investment into the city that will not only serve our seniors, but will help grow our economy as well. I just visited their housing development on Cherry Hill in March to celebrate the vast renovations they made in that property, and I can guarantee that the work that the Village of Westland does is always top tier. It has been a privilege to have this partnership with such a vital provider for Westland seniors, and I'm looking forward to a continuation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and please extend our gratitude to your team. The city, again, has been wonderful to work with in all aspects. I'm going to ask Tanae Ramsey and Derek Lockridge to come forward. They are representing County Executive Warren Evans. Tanae is a community liaison, and Derek is the Director of External Affairs and Executive Engagement. Tanae is also a member of our board, the Village of Bethany Manor. Tanae, Derek.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our Wayne County Executive, Warren Evans, I bring greetings. He could not make it this morning because of his busy schedule, but it's an honor for me to be here to see this beautiful building and see what the possibilities are. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product down the road. But the county is happy to have been and are being parts of this beautiful building, and just want to thank all of you for having us out. And I'd like to have Tanae, this is her wheelhouse, working with the seniors, and so I'm asking Tanae to just come up and...
I'm quite different. I use outside doors because I'm light shy. I'm going to change the whole flavor of this. I'm focusing in on Roger. I have been knowing Roger for many years when I was the director of the Senior Citizens Department for the city of Detroit. Roger has always been steadfast in everything that he does. Even when the county was going through changes with administration, Roger stayed on point and made sure that the county was involved in every step of the way. I take my hat off, if I had one, to Roger and say thank you. Thank you for being committed. Thank you for doing all that you do for the seniors and the community of Westland. Hey, you got the right guy. You knew what you were doing when we got Roger Myers.
Wow. I didn't put her up to that at all. There was another representative from Wayne County that was planning to be here. She may not have gotten here. Tuesday Redmond. Tuesday here? Well, Tuesday works in the housing development part of Wayne County, and Wayne County has supported the housing development with a $1.5 million, what's called home loan for the development. So again, the state, the county, the city, all working together. And yeah, it's just a great thing. And actually, one of the things that the city and the city council stipulated was, in order for the funding that the mayor spoke of to happen, they wanted to see the state of Michigan and Wayne County also come to the table, and they did. And actually, the first dollars that came to this overall redevelopment came through the efforts of our state representative, Kevin Coleman. Kevin is in his third term and represents the 25th district.
Yeah, that's right.
25th district. And Representative Coleman and Senator Erica Geis, who used to represent this area, together they worked in the legislature and were great advocates for $1 million, I think it was MEDC funding that came. And again, that was like 2 or 3 years ago, but it was kind of the first dollars in. So Representative Coleman, we really appreciate that, and we would ask you to come up and bring some greetings. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Well, thank you, Roger. Good morning, everybody. Kevin Coleman, State Representative, and I cover most of the city of Westland in the 25th District here. And I also, one of the many hats I wear up in Lansing is I serve as the chair of the Housing Committee in the Michigan House of Representatives. So senior housing is an important place in my heart. And when PVM approached me about this project and securing more funding for it, there's sometimes a lot of folks that approach us as state legislators asking for money. It happens all the time. Sometimes you have to give things a second thought or a second look. This I jumped at right away. I wanted to get involved as soon as I heard about it, so I was happy to support. I know about the great work that you all do. We really appreciate your team. I know you bring a lot of parts of the community together on behalf of our seniors, and you take care of our seniors. And I know PACE is involved too, a great organization that works with our seniors to keep them healthy, independent, and strong. So we really appreciate the work that you do as well. And I just want to say that, I didn't get involved and support this just from a public service standpoint, but I also did it from a personal standpoint. I have friends that live here at Presbyterian Village of Westland, and you say, well, you're 40 years old, you have friends who live there. Well, when you've been involved in the community as long as I have, as a member of the city council and now a state representative, I've had people who, as I got to know them, they got older and they moved in, and they love it here, and I know you all do a great job for the seniors that live here, and I want to shout out my friend Brianna, who works here as our activities director. She makes their day more exciting and gives them things to do, and I just want to say, I'm excited to finally see this money that we've secured in action, and I'm really excited to come back for the ribbon cutting sometime. So congratulations and best of luck with the project.
Thank you, Representative Coleman. And again, thanks to your colleagues in the legislature for being supportive. And we realize that the legislature has gone through a significant change here in the last 7 or 8 months. And so that really puts your position even greater importance in terms of chairing that committee. So thank you so much. Is Michelle White here? Michelle White? So, Brianna, you were mentioned. Wave your hand back there, okay? And Brianna, what is actually your proper title?
I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager and Resident Relations Manager.
Yeah, and she wears a lot of other hats. So she is like the number 2 person at the Village of Westland. So thank you very much. So we've talked about this being an economic development initiative. So it's definitely got health care, it's got housing, but it also is huge in economic development. If you think about the jobs related to construction, not only the construction of this building, and I should mention that when you look around this space that we're in, we're going to be adding on 3 times the amount of space. So it's going to be a very, very large building. And the front entrance is going to be over here on the north side of the building. And I think we got some plans of that building. So it's going to be a very large building, almost 20,000 square feet. So a lot of jobs will be created here in the Pace Center. A lot of construction jobs, more residents in the city of Westland that will live here. Dr. Lindley, Mark Lindley, raise your hand. And I know Gail Kwan is here. Gail, where are you at? Gail. So Dr. Lindley and Gail are members of the Westland Board. Thank you, Dr. Lindley. Thank you, Gail, for being here. So part of the funding of the development involved, in addition to what we talked about in terms of city, county, state money, we also had the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, and we've gotten involved with this. For us, it's a new form of funding called New Market Tax Credits. We've used something called low-income housing tax credits for a long time, but this New Market Tax Credits is something that this is our first foray into. And it's significant because it brings capital, it brings equity to what we're doing. And we were fortunate to have Capital Impact Partners, which is a national organization, I think based out of Alexandria, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. They are one of the largest community development financial institutions in the country. They allocated new market tax credits for the PACE Center. And one of their representatives, Damon Hodge, is here to bring remarks on behalf of Capital Impact Partners. Damon, thank you for being here.
Good morning. Greetings on behalf of Capital Impact Partners. Roger did an excellent job of explaining who we are. We have offices, we have a Detroit office, which I'm from. We also have offices in Texas, California, and I'm going to miss all the markets, but suffice to say we have activities throughout the United States of America. So a CDFI is a community development financial institution. So we're a financial institution, and we know how to do that. That's kind of who we are and what we do. The other piece to that is that there's a community development piece to that. And so for us to be successful in the work that we do, it's important that we partner with people who are good at what they do in developing communities. So it's really been a pleasure for us to be able to be a part of the transaction with Presbyterian Villages of Michigan because they are good at what they do in developing communities, in this case, a community that is servicing not only one of the most at risk or one of the most at need populations, but also, frankly, one of the most valuable populations, which is our seniors. So we couldn't be happier to be a party to the transaction and to be able to support this development because we know what it's going to do for the greater community in the area. And so we commend them and look forward to also a finished product and to the groundbreaking, not the groundbreaking, but the ribbon cutting for a finished project. And hopefully everything goes smoothly from here on out. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Damon. And there will be multiple more events. So the ribbon cutting definitely will come. Probably about a year from now, maybe about a year from now, probably the ribbon cutting. We expect to serve our first participants here in the fall of next year. I mean, so it's coming up pretty quick. But then we'll have groundbreakings for the ranch homes and the renovation and again, many, many other things to come to celebrate. I'd like to ask Brian Carnegie, Ian Wisner, Kevin Petru to come up here, and I'm going to ask them to shout out a few of the members of the development team that are here. So Brian is our Senior Vice President, Ian is our Vice President of Facilities Advancement, and Kevin is our Director of Real Estate. Brian, Ian, Kevin, come on up here. Because they've been really working this for actually the last couple of years, and Brian, Ian, Kevin, thank you for all you're doing. Let's give them a round of applause.
Well, some quick shout outs. My main one I want to reach out to and acknowledge is Three Rivers Corporation. They were the design build firm that was involved with all the architectural design and now in implementing the construction. Tom Laney and Mark Hansen are here with Three Rivers, and we thank them for their support.
So just some of the other partners who have been really critical in helping us get to this point, Giffords Webster, who have been our engineers, ASTI, who have been our environmental consultants, Al Bogdan, who has been our development consultant. So just a number of different folks who have been really critical in helping us get to this point.
It really takes a big team of people to put the love into something like this. To serve, 300 seniors in this property and another 300 in the housing. So we really appreciate everyone that's been involved in that. You need everyone to be under this tent. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian, Ian, Kevin. You didn't mention all the lawyers. I mean, There are definitely a lot of attorneys involved, for good reasons. There's good reasons that the attorneys are involved. So if you think about 300 people that will be served as participants in this space, if you think the average nursing home in Michigan, has about 100 beds. And think about how they refer to it. That's how they describe a nursing home. How many beds is it? It's 100 beds. Well, this isn't about beds. This is about homes and where people live. But you could look at it and say, well, for the 300 people that PACE will serve here, many of them, maybe most of them, would be living in a nursing home bed if it wasn't for PACE. And that really motivates all of us to say, because who wants to be in a nursing home? I know that sometimes there's a need. PVM even has a nursing home. So sometimes there's a need, but if you can avoid it at all cost, it should be avoided. PACE does that. So I'm going to ask Mary Neighbor to come up here in a moment. Mary Neighbor is the president and CEO for PACE Southeast Michigan. She's been in that role for almost 10 years, 9 years, and has done a phenomenal job. She's also on the board of the National PACE Association, so it covers the whole country, and is the vice chair of the board of the PACE Association of Michigan. PACE Southeast Michigan is the 5th largest PACE program in the country. 5th largest in the country. And one of the, I know like a couple years ago, it was the fastest growing program. It's still probably one of the most fast growing programs.
We're not the fastest.
Yeah. But Mary has provided such inspired leadership to the PACE program and to the culture of PACE, and has made an incredible impact. And it's my real pleasure to have Mary Neighbor come up and bring you her greetings. Mary.
Good morning, everyone. As Roger said, I have the privilege of being the CEO for PACE Southeast Michigan, and we are very excited that you've all joined us this morning for this great celebration. And I hate to correct our board chair, but Roger, this will be our 10th center, because we're going to put up a 9th center in spring of 2024 on the east side of Detroit. So this will actually end up being the 10th one, because it'll be in the fall of 2024. We're so excited. It's going to take a little bit longer because of the additional construction. For those of you who are new to PACE Southeast Michigan, PACE stands for Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly. It's a very unique program because we're the health plan and we're the comprehensive care provider, and we're funded by Medicare and Medicaid. Our mission is to keep older adults with complex health conditions independent in the community by caring for their whole person, their body, their mind, and their spirit. PACE Southeast Michigan is a not-for-profit 501c3 company co-sponsored by Henry Ford Health and Presbyterian Villages of Michigan. For the past 30 years, PACE Southeast Michigan, we did have a different name, but we changed it about 9 years ago. PACE Southeast Michigan has kept nursing home eligible, low-income seniors in their homes. We are the alternative to the nursing home by providing all the care and services that they need to maintain their well-being and their dignity. The foundation of this care model is based on relationships and trust between participants and our team, among our team members, and our trusted partners like Henry Ford Health and Presbyterian Villages of Michigan. Because of these trusting relationships, we are able to fulfill our mission. My heartfelt thanks to our board members that are present here today, especially our board chair, Roger Myers. Your guidance, unwavering support has been instrumental in our success, and we are truly grateful for your dedication to older adults in Michigan. Really grateful. I also want to thank the elected officials that are here today in support of funding and all ways to support seniors in Michigan. Thank you. That's a very important thing, as you know, because sometimes they're often forgotten, right? I want to take a moment to celebrate the exceptional, individuals who make up the PACE Southeast Michigan team. Their compassion, expertise, unwavering commitment, and love for our participants is really what sets us apart. Every day, they make a difference in the lives of those we serve, and I am immensely proud and humbled to be part of the extraordinary team that we have. Special thanks to Gord Somerville. I don't think he's here today. He's been our project construction manager on all of our facilities since I arrived and even before, and continues to manage this project as well and support our philanthropic efforts. So thank you, Gord. I'm sorry he's not here today. This wonderful celebration would not be possible without the efforts of Lynn Alexander. Whoop. Lynn, wave your hand. And Audra Fry of PBM. Audra, thank you, Audra. It may look easy to put on a celebration of this magnitude, but we all know it's not. So we want to thank them for making it look easy. We appreciate you and the work that you've done. Thank you. As we celebrate the groundbreaking of this center in Westland, let us remember that it symbolizes not only growth and service and economic development, but also the strength of our partnerships and the power of community-based care. Together, we will continue to empower older adults, creating communities where independence, dignity, and well-being are within reach for all of our seniors. I thank you. I'd like to close with a story. We were going to have one of our participants come today, but sometimes they can't make it, and this was one of those days. So I'd love to tell you a story, and it kind of reflects what happens in our PACE centers every day across Southeast Michigan. So I was touring a guest at one of our centers out in Sterling Heights, and our participant was anxious to share her story with him. She arrived at PACE over a year ago. Her name is Kathy, by the way. She arrived at PACE over a year ago, and she had had a significant stroke. She was unable to walk, her speech was impaired, and she was deeply depressed. The entire team rallied around Kathy. Her goal was to walk again. They rallied around her, supporting her healing and her rehabilitation to get her walking again. This involved our rehab team, our nurse case managers, our social work, our behavioral health, our primary care, our life enrichment, our PCAs, which are the aides that support them every day. And because of that interdisciplinary teamwork, a year later, she showed our guests that she could not only walk, but that she could do the hustle without a walker. This is just one of the many stories I could tell you that demonstrates the power of PACE, the model, the care model of PACE, and why we all love what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And I think you even had a couple of PACE participants get married.
Yes.
Is that,
We
yeah.
have another one getting married
Oh.
at Dearborn.
So they meet at the PACE Center, strike up a relationship, and it turns into a marriage. Now, that's not something we put in the material. It's like, yeah, but it does happen. So we're going to, in a minute, we're going to go out, and for those that were in the program, we're going to do a kind of a photo op with groundbreaking out in front by, I think, by the sign, and we're going to have the PACE bus in the background. And you probably see these PACE buses all around Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. I think we have probably over 200 of them. 150. Yeah, so there's buses all over the place because transportation is important with what we do. But before we do that, I just wanted to recognize Huntington National Bank, and particularly David Provost. I don't think David made it here today, but David Provost and Gary Torgo. Gary's now the chairman of the whole Huntington Bank. David stepped down as CEO. But they were very instrumental in making this, not only this building, but the 5 acres available to us for what we're doing. It was a TCF bank branch, you may recall, and then when one of the bank mergers occurred, it was closed as a bank, and it was vacant for a long time. And so we started talking with David and said, well, what's the plan? He said, well, we're not sure. They had it on the market, and they ultimately made a significant donation of the building and the land that really helped us kind of move forward. I mean, we were hoping to be able to do a PACE Center somewhere in Westland, but this is like the ideal location. Merriman Road has so much traffic, going to the airport and all of that. So we do thank Huntington National Bank, and particularly David and Gary, for their support. Very much, yeah, thank you. So lastly, you're not going to be able to see a PACE program here in Westland in action for like another year or longer. But in the meanwhile, if what Mary said to you, and it should, motivate you, intrigue you, say, and I know the Westland City Council did this, which I thought was wonderful. So when the Westland City Council was thinking about PACE, they said, well, we need to go and see a PACE Center. So they went to Westland. And they were sold. They said, oh, my goodness, this is unbelievable. We have to have that. But you're invited to visit any of the PACE centers. The current 8 and the 9th that's going to be in Clinton Township, or the 8th in Clinton Township, and the 9th in Detroit, and the 10th here. So you don't have to wait a year or year and a half to see PACE and the wonderful things that it does for its participants. Go and visit and talk to other people about PACE. We still find that people, they may say, okay, I saw a bus, I think I've heard about PACE, but they don't really know what it does. And so if you could kind of learn more about it, if you could visit, talk to your friends, neighbors, church members, just talk it up, because it is such a valuable thing, and it's coming to Westland, and it'll be here shortly. Thank you all very much, and for those on the program, we're going to go out and get the shovels. Thank you all.